Hi everybody, I'm Zach Frederick. How you all doing today? Um, I just wanted to give my thoughts on I just wanted to come back here, give my thoughts on Ash versus the Evil Dead. I just saw the second episode yesterday. It was good. I loved the first episode. It premiered October 31st, and this was the second episode. It was great. It picks up where it picks up because I guess this is going to be a soap now. The way it is, the format that it's in. I guess it's going to be a soap where each episode continues off of the last one. That's what it looks like it's going to be. And so last week we ended off with them in the trailer. Ash is with the chainsaw. He chopped that old lady. She's a zombie. He chops her head off with the chainsaw. Then it picks off this week. This episode, it picks off from there. They're in the trailer after he chopped her head off, and she's laying on the ground. Then the girl that he works with, in the last episode, the first episode, her father called her because her mother had just died in a car accident, and her father called her last episode on her cell. She was at work, and he told her, your mother is here, and he was talking to her on the cell. He said her mother, who was supposed to be dead, she had just walked in the door, and they showed a glowing light, and the mother walked in. I guess she was a zombie, and then the phone cut off. Her connection got cut off, and so then this week it picks up when they're in the trailer after Ash he kills the zombie in the trailer, and then the girl, she goes to she steals Pablo's motor. I forgot what the girl's name is in this. What the girl's name? I have to check it. She steals Pablo's motorcycle, and she goes to visit her parents, her dad and her mom, who is alive now. She's supposedly back from the dead, or she never really died. And so Pablo and Ash go and follow her. They have dinner at her father and mother's house. And Ash, he on the way there, him and Pablo, the guy that they work with, the boss who they work for at Good Value, he was an asshole. He got killed. He became a zombie, and now when Ash and Pablo, they're on their way driving there, the guy, Ash, he fixes the rear view mirror, and the guy, he's possessed. He pops up from the back seat, and he's choking Ash. Pablo gives Ash a broken beer bottle. He stabs the zombie in the neck a bunch of times with the beer bottle. Then he pushes his head out the window, and a truck comes by and knocks his head off, and there's blood splatter. Then it says Ash versus the Evil Dead. That's the beginning of that was the opening monologue or whatever. And so then they go to see the girl I gotta check what her name is. Hold on. Check on my phone. Look at it on. My phone's not working. My phone's going slow. Well, anyway, I'll continue on with it and wait for it to There it is. Um, she's played by Dana Lorenzo. Let's see, I don't know, this is just bothering me that I don't know her name in the show. Um, Kelly Maxwell. Kelly Maxwell, played by Dana Lorenzo. Kelly Max. Okay, so they're going, Ash and Pablo, after they kill the zombie that he was their boss, that he got possessed, and they kill him in the car. They're on their way to Kelly's mother and father's house. They bust him, Ash, he's got the chainsaw on his hand. Him and Pablo, they bust in there. They got blood all over their face and stuff from killing the zombie in the car. They bust in there. They're like, hey, they're ready to kill somebody, because Ash thinks her mother's a zombie. And then Kelly is in a robe. They're about to have dinner. They say, would you like to join us for dinner? They say, okay, because they've seen that the mother, she's not possessed. So they go, Ash and Pablo go back to in the trailer that's attached to Ash's car, the 73 Oldsmobile. They go wash up. They go back to dinner. They're eating dinner with Kelly's mother and father. Her mother serves them a plate of, it's some... Her mother brings out a tray. Her mother brings out a tray. It's some meat. It's some meatloaf or something. It's all bloody. And she serves it to him. And she says, Ash, his chainsaw, because his chainsaw is sitting there on the counter. And she says, Ash, would you like to put your gun on the counter with your chainsaw? Because he had his gun in his back. He said, no. He said, you would like that, wouldn't you? She said, yes. Well, he said, we'll agree to disagree. He refused to take it he refused to take his gun off his back and put it on the side because he didn't trust her. He suspected that the mother, that she's a zombie that's possessed, disguising as a human. And anyway, so they go on and they're eating, and then Ash, he punches her in the face. The mother's sitting right next to her. He punches Kelly's mother, and she falls off the chair, and everybody's like, oh, and they go to tend to her. And he's looking like he's not sure if he did the right thing, because he still doesn't know, is she a zombie? I thought she was. And then when the girl Kelly gets up, she starts hitting Ash, like, you stupid idiot, why'd you do? Then they all go over to Ash. Then this mother gets up, and she is a zombie, and she growls, and then she turns around, and it turns out he was right. And so then they start fighting. She stabs the father in the eye with a fork, and she kills him. And then Ash is fighting with her. Pablo stabs the zombie mother in the back of the head with a knife. And they kill her. I'm sorry, I have OCD, people. Sometimes I tend to stutter and double take. I'm sorry, people. I told you that in another video, that I have OCD. Sometimes I have trouble talking, and try to bear with me here, people. I'll appreciate that. But anyway, Zach, he takes the Ash, he takes the chainsaw and he drives it through her gut, and they kill her. And so anyway, then it takes you to, he buries them, Ash. him, Kelly, and Pablo goes to some field somewhere. He buries her parents, and the black lady that's the detective, she's still investigating. The black Jill Marie Jones is her name in real. I forgot what her name is on the show, but Jill Marie Jones, the detective, she's still investigating, and they're looking for Ash. The black lady, the detective, she goes with the other police to the trailer park where he lives at, and there's other white people telling them that Ash, yeah, he's weird and he's dumber than. They drew a composite of him, a picture that looked like him, and the lady, she said he looks dumber than that in real life. And they were talking about. The lady said he was doing some voodoo stuff in there the other night. He was saying some voodoo prayer or something, and the other night when he was in there, they're talking about in the first episode where he unleashed the dead by reading that he was in there smoking weed with a chick. He was in there with a chick, and he was in there. They got high off of some weed, and then he got out the Necronomicon and he started reading it with her, and that was what unleashed the dead. And that was what that lady was talking about. She was in a trailer park next to them, and she heard them doing that. And so then the lady detective and the cops, they get the information they need. She's still hot on the case. The black lady, she's looking all over for Ash to get questions out of him or whatever. And then Lucy Lawless wasn't in this one. She was in the first episode. She met the detective at the diner, and she told her something, I forgot, and she wasn't in this episode. She's gonna be in the next one though. Lucy Lawless, she's gonna be in the next episode next week, because they already announced the next episode. They showed clips from it, so that should get interesting. And anyway, yeah, that with the detectives happens when they're on their way to the mother's house to eat dinner. That happened before. I'm sorry. And then after he kills the parents, Ash, I forgot. I think that's the last thing that happens. I think that's the last thing that happens. I'm not sure. And it ends with the black lady, the detective. She got a ticket or something, and she's walking into a movie theater or something. I don't know. That was how it ended. Well, anyway, my main point of this review, this review, is just to give my opinion. I loved it. I thought it was a great episode. Next week's episode that they already showed clips from, it looks interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I just wanted to give my opinion on it. I thought this episode was great. And I would love for them to do a movie that spins off of this TV series. That would be cool. But yeah, I just wanted to give my opinion on that. And those of you who watched it, I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the Ash vs. Evil Dead, the first 2 episodes. And that was all I had to say. That I think it's been good so far. They can't use scenes from Army of Darkness, because I noticed in the first episode that aired last week, he was telling Pablo, they were in the store, and he was telling Pablo how this all happened, how the dead came back. He told him about what happened 30 years ago when they read him and his friends, they went to a cabin and they read the Necronomicon, and how that was how the dead got unleashed. And they showed clips from part 1 and 2. They showed clips from Evil Dead 1 and 2, but they couldn't show 3, Army of Darkness. Because that was how he closed the book. That, in part 3, was the last one. Three, three, three was the last one of the trilogy, and that was how he ended up closing the book and sending the dead back, you know, silencing them for good. But I guess some other company owns the rights. I think Lionsgate or someone owns the rights to Evil Dead Army of Darkness, because like I noticed they were showing it on Stars, on the Stars channel. They showed Army of Darkness yesterday and the day before yesterday. Before Ash versus the Evil Dead came on, they showed Army of Darkness, and they don't call it evil. They don't, on the listings, on the guide, they don't list it as Evil Dead. They don't list it as Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness anymore. They just put it as Army of Darkness, like it's its own separate movie, because someone else owns the rights. I wish somehow they could get the rights back for Army of Darkness, or at least borrow it temporarily so they could use that in the story somewhere in here. But so far they haven't. But I still like how they were able to finesse it and, you know, and maneuver around that, and then it came out good so far. If you have the three movies at home, and then you watch this Ash versus Evil Dead, if you have the three movies, the Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, and then Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness, and then when you watch the series, it pretty much fits, you know, it pretty much fits, even though they can't use the rights to Army of Darkness, they've been able to finesse it so far to make it that, it matches up, you know. He just can't mention when he went back to the past in ancient times, and they can't show clips from that. And but he's talking about 30 years ago he opened a book, and you know, he didn't tell the whole story of how he closed it, which happened in Army of Darkness. But it's still been pretty good so far. I'm looking forward to see the third episode. Okay, people, I hope you like this review, and be sure to subscribe if you want to subscribe to the channel. Press the thumbs up button if you like. Leave a comment below if you want. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all later.